Sales is all about control and who has it. You are either selling the customer or the customer is selling you. Your job as a sales rep is to keep control of the conversations you have with the potential customers. Do not confuse control with being pushy. They are two different things. Control means you know what you are saying and you know where it is leading the prospect. It is a process, not an event. In this case, it is the TruGreen sales process. It's important to make sure your appearance is immaculate, cleaned and pressed uniform, shirt tucked in, a great appearance. Clean and pressed white TruGreen polo must be worn, khaki pants, no cargos, nice walking shoe, optional TruGreen hat, and a TruGreen name badge. Clean and pressed specialist uniform, correct name on the uniform, production boots, and a TruGreen hat. In direct selling, this is the most important of all the steps. You have a very short amount of time, possibly only seconds, to make a positive impression on the homeowner. After you knock on the door, make sure to keep facing the door. Don't turn away. The homeowner needs to see who you are. It's also important to take a few steps back when the homeowner answers the door. Give them their space. Make sure to maintain eye contact with the prospect. When you introduce yourself, greet the prospect and give them your first name and let them know you're with TruGreen. And remember to speak with confidence and authority. A key practice is to hand the prospect a flyer right away. This psychologically obligates them to listen to what you have to say.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Dave with TruGreen, the lawn service. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I just want to stop and say hello. I've been looking at some of my customers' lawns down the street.
If they try to give it back to you, say, "That's okay, you can hold it for a minute." Then keep going on with your introduction.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dave with TruGreen Lawn Service. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Well, you can keep that. It's free. I work with some of your neighbors. I've been out looking at their lawns, making sure they're coming in shape this year. And I want to...
With traditional neighborhood marketing, you will need to establish rapport. How are you doing? Good, I'm glad to hear that. Bringing up the neighbors makes the prospect feel peer pressure. Everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses. It also lets them know we care about our customers. I was out looking at my customers' lawns, making sure they're looking good. Prospects need to feel you're not soliciting. Make them feel you didn't mean to stop by, but you just had to. Make sure to smile. The smile is the difference between insulting or creating a need. I had to stop by to find out what you're doing for the grass this year. Sound concerned. Remember, you're there to help.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Dave with TruGreen, the lawn service. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I just want to stop and say hello. I've been looking at some of my customers' lawns down the street from you. And as I was walking by, I noticed some weeds in your front yard. And I'd like to find out what you're going to be doing with that this season.
Well, we do it ourselves.
Is that what you did last year? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I can appreciate that. And it looks like your color is starting to green up a little bit.
Asking, is that what you did last year, eliminates the idea that what they're doing is working. This doesn't make it impossible for the prospect to tell you no, but it does make it impossible for them to tell you they don't need you. Without realizing it, they have admitted that they have an unsolved problem. Your chances of the prospect saying yes to the service greatly increases by getting the prospect to join you on the lawn. Don't let your fear keep you on the porch. This is one of the most important parts of the sales process.
When you get a customer outside, your expectations, your results, everything increases. Once that customer follows you out that door, you don't even understand the increase in sales opportunity that you have. So much more than if you were just sitting there trying to talk to them at the door.
There's no question about it that if you get somebody on the lawn, that your closing percentage is going to go up. But if you get somebody out there, you're able to point out hot spots, you're able to get them to talk about some of the areas they would like to improve. Sometimes people don't even see their lawn unless they're out mowing the lawn. So it's important that you get out there and you show them some of the concerns that they have. Always respond with, good. I'm not saying you're doing a bad job, but there is something I have to show you. This just doesn't happen by telling them to come out of the house. Wave your hands toward the lawn. Turn and walk to the area of the lawn that you noticed when you walked up to the house. It will only take a second if you come with me. Tips for getting them to join you on the lawn? Stand at an angle so they don't feel threatened. Always use hand movements to point to the lawn. Wave your hands toward the lawn. Turn with your hands and start walking. Don't hesitate. Assume they'll follow. Keep talking about the problems while walking out to the lawn. You must sound like you just found gold in their lawn to help pull them out.
Okay, well I can appreciate that, and it looks like your color is starting to green up a little bit, but I noticed some weeds right by the driveway. Did you see those?
No.
Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. I can help you with that, okay? I don't know if you noticed this or not, but man, it stands out right here in the middle of your lawn. What we do is get rid of this weed, get these weeds out of your lawn, and get the grass to thicken back in. You can see how they're coming in along the edges, right there on the side, and over here in the front. Our service will guarantee to control those for you, and at the same time, get this grass to thicken back in. As a matter of fact, we already treat this lady right here. I don't know if you know them or not. That's one of our customers, okay?
What if they don't follow you out the door? That's okay. Stay focused on the issue you are pointing out and continue to let them know what you have noticed.
I can appreciate that, and it looks like your color is starting to improve, but I noticed a big patch of weeds right by your driveway. Have you seen that?
No.
Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. It'll just take a quick second. See, right along here, you've got some issues that we can help you with. The weed control and fertilizer on this part of the property. You see them right here? Okay.
Seeing is believing. People only solve problems that they're aware of. Creating that awareness requires a little confrontation. Get them on the lawn and make them see what's happening. Point to the weeds or problem areas and say, you see these weeds, right? Get in the habit of kneeling down and point out the issues. Now it's time to ask for the business. If there's no objection and they're cooperating, with neighborhood, it's time to close. You see the weeds, right? And because of the weeds you have right here, they will spread all over the lawn. Let me get out here, get rid of these weeds and thicken up the lawn, okay? Buffers let prospects know we identify with them and we understand their feelings. This will take the edge off of the questions we need to ask to get the sale. What do you think you're going to hear? If you don't think you will hear some form of no, you're in for a surprise. That is the first reaction. Be prepared. They're not saying no to you or your service, simply to the idea of buying something. Keep smiling. This will take a conscious effort at first. Buffer the prospect. I'm sorry to hear that. I understand how you feel. A lot of my present customers felt that same way, but what they found was, I am glad to see you take an interest in the lawn. Ask probing questions. The objection usually gives an inadequate amount of information. You need more. Ask, and you might get it. Make sure that you listen to their answers, because 9 times out of 10, this will tell you what you need to do to sell them. How long have you had these weeds? Have you been treating the lawn yourself, or have you had a lawn service? Don't let fear stop you from probing. A few well-placed words can set you on the road to making the sale. Asking right minimizes risk. This encourages the prospect to give us information we need to sell them. What are you doing for your lawn this year? What are you trying to accomplish with the lawn? If there was one thing you would like to see improve in the lawn, would it be the weeds or the color problem you have here?
If you can improve one thing, would it be the weeds or maybe the thickness?
Well, I mean, it could be a lot thicker.
Asking wrong increases it. This gives the prospects an easy out. Examples like, are you happy with the lawn? Is there anything you would like to see improve?
So if you could improve one thing, what would it be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good to us.
Once you identify the prospect's need, it is extremely important to make a mental note of their need. Why? This is the main reason the prospect will purchase our service. Therefore, it is very important to continue to remind them how our service is the solution to their need. For new sales reps, this step of the sales process can often be the most intimidating. This is where the prospect will barrage you with all of the reasons why not, commonly referred to as objections. It helps for you to be familiar with ways to overcome the most common of the objections. This is also the point of the sales process where we get to set ourselves apart from the competition. The way we do this is by letting the prospect know about all the great features and benefits of our service. Features and benefits are why prospects buy our service. Objections are the only thing that stands between you and the sale. In this section, we are going to dissect the most common objections heard in the field. The elite sales reps of TruGreen have mastered the art of overcoming each of these objections. In order for you to join the elite, you will need to practice, practice, practice until these rebuttals roll off your tongue. You will learn many new things working for TruGreen. But if you are good at this, you're going to have success. The most common objection you'll hear is, I'm not interested. The key is to get by this initial roadblock to get to the real objection. Let's see how Dave handles this objection.
I'm sorry, I'm really not interested.
Why not?
I already told you I'm not interested.
Well,
Handling it this way makes the prospect defensive, and as you can see, you will get an even stronger no the second time if you do not handle this right. Some reps will respond with, I'm sorry to hear that, but is there anything holding you back? This is what's known as an easy out question. Easy out questions will get you shut down very quickly. The fatal error comes from asking, is there? They can say, no, I just don't want it, and the sales process is over. Let's try this again.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm just really not interested.
I'm sorry to hear that. What have you been doing in the past, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, you know, we actually do the lawn ourselves.
Great. I'm glad to see you take an interest in the lawn.
The key to success is getting an answer. The if you don't mind my asking takes the edge off of it, and they are more likely to answer since it's politely phrased. Have you ever used a lawn service? What did you do for the lawn last year? What would you like to see improved, weeds or thickness?
You're going to hear this all day long. I get it all the time. It's just part of the job. But what they're really doing is they're trying to put you off to get you to go away from the door. What you got to do is learn how to probe, ask some more probing questions to get to the real point of maybe why they just don't want to listen to you for a few minutes. When you can do that and get more information out of them, it'll give you more to go off of so you can begin to create some interest and then get into a presentation.
You will hear this over and over and over again, bar none. But keep in mind that they're just giving you this objection to get you away from the door. There's a truer meaning behind it.
I tell representatives that that is the thing that they will hear more often than anything else, and it's a conditioned response from consumers. I'm not interested is not actually an objection, and what we have to do is get past the I'm not interested in order to find out what their true objection is. And you do that by asking questions. What are your plans for the lawn this year? What have you typically done for your lawn in the past? Once you're able to finally get them involved in the conversation and get past that initial stall, then you can find out the genuine objection that you're dealing with.
Politely phrase your response to take the edge off. Try to gain additional information to take you further into the process. Don't ask why not. All this will do is make the prospect defensive. And don't ask easy out questions. This is the most common objection you'll hear. Like all objections, you can't be surprised when you hear it, and you need to know exactly what you're going to say.
We're going to do the lawn ourselves.
But your lawn's all weeds.
Okay, thank you.
Not only does this make the prospect feel defensive, it also makes them feel insulted. Let's try this one again.
You know, we do the lawn ourselves.
Sure, well, I'm glad you take an interest in your lawn, but do you like doing that?
Well, actually, yeah, we enjoy it a lot.
Well, just...
Once again, Dave used an easy out question, and of course the prospect went for it. Here's the correct way.
You know, I'm glad to see you take interest in your lawn. In fact, you're not doing a bad job, but keep in mind, you see all these thin spots over here? They're just going to fill in with weeds, just like what's happened over there. Now, the products you're using are not that bad, but they're just not coming through for you. Give me a chance to get rid of these weeds, get this grass to thicken in. You're going to have a much healthier lawn, and I can get the truck out next week, okay?
Dave told her that he was glad to see they're doing something for the lawn, established that they have a history with the product, and that it just hasn't worked like it was supposed to.
I used to be really intimidated by this objection, and I hated hearing it, but now what I've learned is that all they're really saying is that they're interested in it getting a nice-looking lawn. What I have to show them is how much more sense it makes to use TruGreen. For the time it takes them to buy the products, put them down, worry about whether or not they're putting them down at the correct rate, it's a lot more convenient and cost-effective for them just to have TruGreen come out and do it because we'll guarantee their results.
There's all different kind of ways to attack that objection. From the time that they're spending going to the store and coming back, the money that they're spending on the products, going out there, making sure they do it right, and especially where are they storing it? Are they storing it in the garage or the shed?
You also want to be careful with this one. You never want to insult the job that they're doing. You always want to find some reason to compliment them on their lawn, no matter how bad the lawn looks.
When you hear, "I do it myself," you should assume that you know what the homeowner is doing. After all, you are the lawn expert. When the prospect says, "I do it myself," say, "Great, I'm glad you like to keep the lawn looking nice." Now, you're probably putting down one of those 4-step programs, right? And if I'm not mistaken, those are granular applications, aren't they? Now, most people that I talk to that use that program tend to have some issues with weeds now and then. I did notice some clover in the front yard. This sets up the opportunity for you to sell the benefits of TruGreen. You can immediately start selling the benefits of liquid applications. If there were no weeds in the yard, you would simply have used color. Do compliment that they care for the lawn. Find out if they've had a professional service in the past. Stress the time savings by using TruGreen. Explain the benefits of liquid fertilizer. And don't make the prospect feel like they're doing a bad job. This is another objection you'll hear often. The first thing to remember with this objection is to never ask who they are using or how much they're paying.
Well, we already actually have another lawn care company.
Yeah, but you've got all weeds.
Well, we're just going to stay with them.
Obviously, this is the wrong way to handle this objection. Not only does this make the prospect feel defensive once again, it also makes them feel insulted. Do you think they are ready and willing to make a switch to TruGreen? Let's try this again.
We already have another lawn care company.
I'm glad to hear you've taken interest in your lawn, but they're not doing a very good job.
Well, we've been with them a long time. I think we're just going to stay with them.
If we,
Once again, he made them feel defensive. They may have been ready to switch companies and probably still will, just not with us. Here's the correct way.
Well, we already have another lawn care company.
Sure, great. Well, I'm glad to see that you take an interest in your lawn. But you know what? I'm not saying they're doing a bad job, but you've got some thin spots out front. Let me show you what we can do for you. Real quick, just take a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying they're doing a bad job, but one thing I noticed while I was walking up, you got some weeds down here in these thin spots. These weeds are just going to continue to fill in. Give me a chance and let us get this lawn in shape for you, okay?
Dave told her that he was glad to see they're doing something for the lawn. He tactfully established that they have a history with the company and they haven't controlled the problem. It's also important to ask how long they've been using their current service. Once they tell you how long they've been with the company, ask what made them decide to use a lawn care company in the first place. When the prospect answers the question, you now have a hot button that you can use to sell a TruGreen service.
If they have concerns on the lawn, you don't want to necessarily badmouth the competition, but you want to let them know that if they have someone professionally doing the lawn, that they should expect more out of their lawn. Let them know how you're going to get there.
Approach it with the mentality that, hey, this is awesome. They're showing interest in their lawn. Now, how can I be careful not to insult the other lawn care company, but at the same time show the prospect how our products and our service, all the way to our technicians and our customer service staff, can make their experience that much more enjoyable. I mean, there's so much to be excited about because you are the #1 lawn care company. You're TruGreen. Don't be afraid to ask your veteran sales reps about competitors in the area. Get to know their programs. What do they do? Are they an all-dry granular program?
In some cases, you'll come across homeowners that use another service and the lawn looks fantastic. This type of situation scares off many sales reps. It shouldn't. This is an excellent opportunity for you to show your expertise and sell the benefits of the superior service provided by TruGreen. If the lawn looks good and the homeowner says they use a competitor, try saying, "I can see they're doing a fairly good job out here. I see a lot of competitors' lawns that don't look quite as good as this one." Knowing the business like I do, I know that customer service can sometimes be an issue with lawn care companies. Missed appointments, answering machines, a lack of personalized service, etc. Do you ever notice anything like that? After you ask the question, read the homeowner's body language. If you get the sense that maybe they've had some service problems, sell the advantages of TruGreen. Benefits like the Healthy Lawn Analysis, customer service reps that are available from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m., free service calls, etc. Remember, you have to give them a reason to buy from you. Ask how long they've been with their current service. Ask why they decided to use a lawn care company. Stress the features and benefits that set us apart from the competition. Don't initially ask who they are using or how much they are paying. And don't put down the competition. Any objection that has to do with money is a challenge for you to sell the benefits of our service. Your job is to make the service more valuable than the money spent.
Well, I don't know. It's just too expensive.
Well, that's okay, because I'll make it cheaper. Give me a chance, okay?
No, I don't think so.
Offering them a deal assumes you have the whole story. It also assumes that whatever they're comparing us to is our equal. You need to know what they're comparing the cost to and what the potential problems with that something might be.
I don't know. It's just too expensive.
Well, compared to what?
Well, we just do it ourselves.
Sure, but I can give you a good deal, okay?
Although you need to find out what they're comparing the price to, you need to ask this question more tactfully without coming across defensive. Here's the correct way to handle this objection.
I don't know. I just think it sounds too expensive.
Hey, I can understand that. I'm on a budget myself. But let me ask you this. What is it specifically that you're comparing us to?
Oh, well, we do it ourselves.
Okay. And is that what you've been doing in the past?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If there was one thing you can improve, would it be all of these thin spots you got right here, or maybe these weeds that are coming in?
Oh, probably the weeds.
Okay, well, I can take care of that for you. Give me a chance. I'll get out here, thicken in this grass, and control the weeds, okay?
Dave used a buffer to start, and then he diplomatically asked what they were comparing the cost to. The key is to get to what their solution is and tactfully find a problem with it. Remember, if the prospect says it's too expensive, the first thing you want to find out is, compared to what? The bottom line is that most homeowners do not realize how inexpensive our service really is. It helps to know what they're comparing it to.
Early on when you hear this, it's usually because you didn't build enough value and they just don't think it's worth it. The worst thing you can do is start dropping price, because it's only going to make it seem less valuable to the prospect and you lose a lot of credibility.
One of the biggest mistakes newer reps make is dropping the price right away or reducing the number of applications. And that's the last thing that you want to do. What the customer is telling you isn't really that they can't afford it or that it costs too much. What they're telling you is they don't think it's worth it. So what you want to do is you want to be able to build value to show them that your price is worth it.
You've got to sell on value versus price. As soon as you sell on price, you're going to lose the sell on price. There's always going to be a company out there that's going to be cheaper than us, but there's not going to be a company out there that offers a better service for us.
The most important thing to remember with cost objections is that it is not an invitation to sell on price. A timid sales rep will drop the price, but a proven rep will sell the features and benefits. Do find out what they are comparing our price to. Stress the features and benefits. Sell them on what they plan on taking. Don't drop the price. If the prospect says that they cannot afford it, you should ask, if I could convince you how cheap this is for what you get, what would you like to see out of the lawn service? This will help you find the prospect's hot button. Once you have the hot button, you should let the prospect know that we have a program for every budget, and then proceed to address the hot button. Let's see how Dave handles this objection.
Well, we really can't afford that right now.
Well, I haven't even given you the price yet.
Yeah, well,
This is obviously the wrong way to handle this. Dave sounded defensive, and the customer felt uncomfortable as well.
well, we really can't afford that right now.
Well, you know, it's only $45, so let me do it, all right?
No.
Although this is close, it is still wrong. This way means you're trying to sell on price. If by some miracle it works, it will most likely backfire on you. Anyone who buys on price alone cancels on price. Let's watch Dave handle this the correct way.
Well, we really can't afford that right now.
I can understand that. I'm on a budget myself. But if I couldn't make this affordable for you, I wouldn't have even stopped by. What have you been doing in the past, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we actually do the lawn ourselves.
This one objection can fool you because it's very close to it's too expensive, but it's very different. It's too expensive usually means that you have something specific in mind to compare it to, while I can't afford it means you haven't built enough value in the service to justify the price. It does not mean they don't have the money.
If they're telling you that it's too expensive before you've even given them a price, either it's a put-off or they're assuming that it's a lot more expensive than it actually is. And usually it's the latter. What you need to do is build value using the need created earlier in our process. Is it weed control? Is it the thin spots? Is it color? Whatever that need is, you've got to build the value to the customer so that they're going to say, wow, this is really worth the investment.
When someone tells you that it's too expensive and you haven't given them a price yet, the first thing you want to do is kind of stress the free estimate. Also, you want to kind of get a conversation going, start to ask them what they've done in the past. They might be comparing you to a company that they already have. Once you can get that free estimate, then you can kind of tell them the price while you're giving them some features and benefits, because by then you've already kind of walked the lawn and saw what some of the hot spots were.
Do stress the features and benefits of our service. Find out what they are comparing our price to. and sell them what they plan on taking. Don't drop the price. The trick with overcoming this objection is to take it head on. Many sales reps simply give up when they hear this objection. Approach the prospect in a lighthearted way and let them know that this is exactly why they want to use TruGreen.
Well, I'm worried about the chemicals.
Sure, but our chemicals are completely safe.
This response is all wrong. You should always avoid the word chemicals. They're products. Repeating the word chemicals will reinforce their fear of our products. Another phrase to avoid is saying our products are safe. This assumes responsible handling on their part. They're environmentally sound. Let's try that again.
I'm just worried about the chemicals.
Sure, well, our products are okay, and we'll do a good job, and we're very responsible, so just give it a shot, okay?
This may get you the sale once in a while, but you need to probe for more information to have the greatest chance of turning them around.
I'm still concerned about the chemicals.
I can understand. Do you mind if I ask what specifically you're concerned about?
Oh, yeah, we have a dog.
Sure. A lot of my customers have dogs. And all we ask is that you leave the dog off the lawn for about an hour. That's to allow the product to dry so that you get better results, okay?
Okay.
It's imperative that you pin down the specific reason that is causing their fear in order to alleviate it. Show them you're human. Keep in mind that we are the nation's largest lawn care company. We treat over 2 million homes nationwide, many whom have small children and pets. These homeowners choose TruGreen because we apply the right products and we apply them the right way. If the prospect still has concerns, don't forget that we also offer the True Natural program. It's important to make sure that you present the True Natural program with the benefits of a greener, thicker, healthier lawn.
Well, we were really looking into something, organic. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got True Natural. It's an all-organic program. What that's going to do is thicken the lawn in and help get a nice dark green color just like we talked about, okay?
Yeah, but what about the weeds?
With True Natural, it is an all-organic program, so there is no weed control. However, over time, the products we use are going to increase the thickness and density of your lawn and get you a lot better color. But with all organic programs, you're going to see weeds come in from time to time. But we'll get you started next week, okay?
Even though the True Natural program does not include weed control, you will find that customers will occasionally request that we take care of their weeds as well.
But if you would like, I can put special instructions on your account for your specialist to go ahead and use the standard weed control with your applications. Will that work for you?
I think so.
Great. We'll get you started this week, okay?
All right.
If you need to add weed control to a True Natural account, don't forget to add a note to the account that we need to include weed control.
When someone tells me that they're worried about the chemicals, I explain to them that we're the answer. We're a licensed lawn service company. We're professionals. We know exactly what products to put down, how much to put them down, and at what rate they need to go down at, so the customer doesn't have to worry about any misapplication. You would be surprised how many garages I walk by and I see open bags of pesticide laying around where anyone can get to them.
When I hear that particular objection, that's the first thing I will say to a potential customer. I am glad that that is your concern. And that's the very reason why you need to use TruGreen versus doing it yourself and storing your own products or using another company where maybe you don't know if they've had the training and the specialist and the equipment that we have or the True Natural alternative. So when I actually hear that objection, as intimidating as it may be for a new representative, you can really flip the script on that and make that the very reason that they should use TruGreen versus doing it themselves or using another lawn care company.
Do take this head on. Stress the fact that we are the answer to the environment. Licensed specialists. We apply the right products. The homeowner doesn't have to store the products. Sell them the True Natural program if they are still concerned after you've explained the benefits. Don't sell the True Natural program right away. Don't use the word safe. If you talk to enough prospects, you're eventually going to run into someone who's had a bad past experience with a lawn care company, or even a bad past experience with TruGreen.
You know, I had you guys before, and we really weren't satisfied.
Hey, you know what? I'll give you a discount. Just give me a chance, okay?
No.
This response sounds too desperate. Dave made money the issue without knowing what the true problem was.
You know, I remember we used you guys before. We really weren't satisfied.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? Was it weeds?
Actually, it was. Yeah, you couldn't get rid of them.
Dave's on the right track, but he still needs to make some adjustments. He needs to show concern and not lead them by assuming that weeds were the problem. Allow them to let you know exactly what happened. Let's watch the correct way to handle this.
I remember we used you guys before, and we weren't really satisfied.
Okay, Miss Jones, your business is very important to me. Can you tell me what happened that you weren't satisfied with?
Yeah, it was weeds. They were all over the place.
Okay. Do you remember what type of weed you had?
My husband called it Creeping Charlie.
Sure. And I'm sorry that you had that experience. I know Creeping Charlie can be very hard to control, but give me a chance to work with you this season. Let me work on your account personally, and I'll guarantee you're going to be happy with service, okay?
The key here is asking and listening for the specific problems they've had. You can't solve a problem that a customer hasn't been allowed to voice. Listen and reassure them that it's different with you. If they had a problem with our service, it is a great time to bring up our new Healthy Lawn Plan. We now offer a program that not only includes fertilization and weed control, we also include insect control for lawn-feeding insects.
This can be really intimidating, especially for a new sales rep. What you need to do is hear them out, listen to them, empathize, apologize. It could have been with another company, it could have been with our company. But let them vent. They want to know that you really do care about the service, about their issues, and then that's going to put the ball in your court. Then it's really you taking care of them. Let them know that you're going to stand behind the service, you're going to be there to make sure that we are going to take care of them in the future, and that they're not going to have anything to worry about.
When you first hear this objection, you want to get to the bottom of it. You need to find out why. You need to be a good listener. Don't try to talk over them. Let them vent to you. Don't try to turn it on them and ask them, well, did you take advantage of our service calls? Did you call in? Let them speak, sympathize with them, apologize to them, and now show them how you're going to make things better because you're in charge of their account.
And I think one of the best things you can do when you're in front of a customer in that situation is let them know you are going to be their personal account representative. And if they have any questions or concerns throughout the course of the year, they can give you a call directly, and you're going to make sure that they're taken care of.
There are a few tips to keep in mind when you encounter one of these former customers. Ask the homeowner to explain what happened and then take the heat. Hear the customer out. Let them vent and explain all that happened. Empathize with their situation. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. Agree with their opinions and decisions. Apologize for what happened, even if it was not TruGreen. You should apologize for the other company's poor service. Lastly, take responsibility. If you're going to get the prospect to give you a shot, you're going to have to ensure them that you will provide personalized service, and tell the prospect that you will work with them personally to ensure their satisfaction. The bad past experience objection is really just an opportunity for you to sell yourself. If you convince the prospect that you will work with them personally, then you will get the sale. Honor your commitment to work with them personally, and you'll have a customer for life. Do hear them out. Empathize. Apologize. Take action or ownership. And stress the healthy lawn analysis. Don't place the blame on the customer for not calling for a service call. And don't come up with a solution before you hear them out. This objection can be a little dicey. Typically, the homeowner has some sort of relationship with the mower, so you have to be careful how you phrase things.
You know, we actually already use a landscaper. They take care of everything.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what. He can mow it, and I'll fertilize it. How's that sound?
No thanks.
This is not the right way to handle this. This will be just great for us, but what incentive do they have to inconvenience themselves? Let's try that again.
Actually, we use a landscaper and they take care of everything.
Okay, well, were you happy with them?
Yeah, actually we are very happy with them.
Okay, well,
This was close, but it's still wrong. Asking them if they were happy with them will almost always get you a yes, and then you realize that you've painted yourself into a corner. We can do better here. Let's try that again.
We use a landscaping company and they take care of everything.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear you're doing something. But if there was one thing you could improve, would it be these thin spots out here or some of the weeds you got in the lawn?
Oh, I guess it could be the thin spots.
Hey, I can really help you with that. I noticed a couple of areas. Let me show you what I'm talking about, okay?
Okay.
Some keys for overcoming this objection. The first thing you should do is compliment the job the lawn guy is doing with mowing. Let the prospect know that we do not mow, but that we specialize in lawn treatments of fertilizer and weed control, which is our area of expertise. Reference the fact that the mower is likely buying the products at the store and then applying to the lawn, whereas with TruGreen, we tailor the applications for your lawn's needs. Most importantly, convey to the prospect that for a nice-looking lawn, letting us work with the mower will give them the best result.
When you get the landscaper objection, you've got to kind of treat it like a competitor. You've got to make sure you get them out on the lawn, compliment them on having somebody take care of the lawn, but at the same time, show them some of the things that we can improve on that maybe their landscaper's not doing for them right now.
When you got someone that says they have a landscaper, that seems like it can be a pretty tough objection to overcome, but in reality, first thing I do is compliment them, and then I try to probe to get a little bit more information to find out what they're actually doing. The main thing is you want to show them what TruGreen has to offer that their landscaper doesn't. Essentially, it's going to be getting the lawn nice, green, and healthy, keeping the weeds out of there, making sure it's disease-free and insect-free, and that they're getting all their money's worth that they're investing in their lawn, whether they're still going to have their landscaper do the mowing and trimming, and then have TruGreen do the fertilization and weed control.
The last thing you want to do with a landscaper is badmouth them. The landscaper could be a close friend or a family member, and so you still want to give some compliments on what they've been able to do. Let them know that they can still keep that person around to do the mowing, the watering, the trimming, but leave the lawn care to the experts.
Do stress that we can work together with their landscaper, and explain that we have a program tailored to their needs. Don't be too critical of the job they're doing. They could be a close friend or even related. And don't paint yourself into a corner by asking if they're happy with them. This is an objection that you really need to be prepared for. More than any other objection, this one seems to confuse sales reps. When you get to the end of your presentation, you should expect this objection.
I'll call later. It's just too early to do anything.
Sure, well, let me go ahead and get you on the schedule, and then just give me a call if there's any problems, okay?
This isn't a sale, it's a callback. Most likely this sale will kick when the customer relations specialist calls to confirm the sale. Either way, this will end up as a cancel down the road. Let's try that again.
Well, it's too early. I want to think about it, and then why don't you call me back?
Hey, what's there to think about? You've got weeds, and I can get rid of them. Let's go ahead and do it.
No, not now.
This sounds kind of like a threat. The response is usually, I'll take my chances. This gives them the negative side of it rather than the positive side. A response like, I know the lawn isn't the first thing on your mind, but honestly, is it ever? The truth is right now is the best time to put down the pre-emergent so we keep the crabgrass out and get rid of the weeds you have. They're weak right now. Let me get them out and start to thicken the lawn up, okay? The problem will be there. They need someone to remind them that the time is now to get these weeds taken care of.
Well, for the customer that says it's a little too early to make a decision in lawn care, one of the first things I always want to make sure that I reiterate to them that now is the time to make the decision for lawn care. The first application that we do as soon as the weather breaks is one of the most vital applications that we apply to the lawns because it contains pre-emergence for crabgrass, which needs to be put down early in the season in order to prevent crabgrass from coming up in the summer. Not only that, but it's one less decision that they have to worry about later. Why don't you make that decision with me today? Let's get your lawn care needs met for this season, and that's one less thing you have to worry about. We'll see you when the weather breaks in the early spring to get that first vital application down.
It's also important to know that we're going to be out taking care of the neighbor's lawns soon, and everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses. So let them know we're going to be out doing the lawn for the neighbors. We want to make sure that we're doing just as good of a job for them if they decide to go with us also. In order to do that, we need to be out there at the same time.
The main point you want to stress is the urgency with getting the program started. Assure the homeowner that you can and will call them back if that is what they need you to do. At this point, you will want to get the homeowner to agree with you on a few items. For example, I would be more than happy to call you back, but you do agree that you have some things in the lawn that we can help you with, right? And you agree that this is an extremely affordable service, right? Getting the prospect to say yes to a few questions will help reinforce in their mind that they will benefit from the service. At this point, you should sell on the need to get started now. An example would be to stress the need for pre-emergent before crabgrass begins to germinate, or to let the prospect know that you will have a truck out in the next few days and you would like to get them started at that time. Following these steps can often result in the customer saying yes. If they still want you to call or check back later, then by all means, make plans to do so. Do stress the urgency to start the service now. Schedule a call back if the prospect will not budge. Don't burn the bridge. Don't give up and schedule a call back right away. And don't schedule a call ahead sale. As you're walking through neighborhoods, you will come across lawns that from a distance look pretty good. In most cases, these are customers, but in cases where they don't have our service, these are still potential sales for us. The key to remember is if the lawn looks nice, they obviously do care about the lawn, and we all know that is half the battle.
My lawn looks fine. I mean, I like it. I don't really have anything I want to do to it.
Well, okay, I guess if anything changes, just keep us in mind, all right?
This isn't the right response. They won't call, so don't bother waiting by the phone. Let's try that again.
Well, my lawn looks good. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it.
Well, I mean, there's weeds all over. Come on, let me help you out with this.
Dave fell into a trap here. If you disagree with them, they can take it as an insult and walk away. Let's see how to handle this correctly.
I don't know. I think my lawn looks good. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I agree, you've got a nice lawn. You probably work out here a lot, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, you do your mowing and trimming, a little bit of weed control. I noticed a couple of thin spots as we were walking over here. These are gonna fill in with weeds. You've got a few weeds creeping in from over here as well. I can take your lawn to the next level. Give me a chance to work with you and I'll prove it to you. When the lawn looks great, tell them that, compliment them on it. Remember, you're the expert. What we wanna do is help them keep the lawn looking nice.
Even if the lawn looks good, you still want to ask them if they do it themselves or if they have another lawn care company. Maybe they're tired of it. Maybe they just don't want to do it anymore and they're ready to hand that part of their hobbies over to you. At the same time, if it's another lawn care company, well, are they reliable? Maybe they're messing up the bills. Maybe they don't show up when they're supposed to. You don't know this until you knock on the door and find out.
When I was a new sales rep, one of the biggest mistakes I made, I would assume that I could only sell lawns that I saw problems in. What I found was I would run into people that had just moved into a home with a beautiful green lawn and they were just waiting for someone to come by and tell them what we could do to keep that lawn green and healthy. I also found that there were people with other services who were not happy with those services due to a billing issue or any other reason, or they just wanted a competitive estimate. I also found that people were tired of doing it themselves and had never had a lawn service person come by and never even knew what we had to offer. There's a lot of opportunity out there on these lawns that look great. You never know until you knock.
A lot of reps just want to stop at the lawns that have a lot of weeds and they think that they're low-hanging fruit. In my experience, the lawns that look great are a great prospect. They take care of the lawn. Most likely they have somebody taking care of the lawn. And just because the front lawn looks good doesn't mean that the back lawn looks good. You want to make sure that you talk to these people and find out what's going on. They could have had a bad customer service experience with the other company. It's not all just about how the lawn looks. Sometimes it's about how they're treated by the company that's taking care of the lawn too.
99% of the time, these prospects already use a lawn service or they do the lawn themselves. Once you find out what they're doing, handle the objection accordingly. A big mistake that sales reps can make is avoiding the lawns that look good. Once you approach the lawn, you will probably notice some areas that are a concern. Even if the lawn looks terrific, you never know if the prospect just moved in or they may be tired of doing the lawn themselves. You never know what you're going to find unless you knock. Do compliment them on how the lawn looks and stress why it still makes sense to use TruGreen. Don't fall into the trap of disagreeing with the prospect. From time to time, you will come across prospects that are renting or leasing their homes. Keep in mind that TruGreen services thousands of customers across the country that rent their house. In most cases, renters mow their yard regularly, and of course that means we can help keep their residence looking its best.
Well, actually, we rent.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to bother you. Thank you.
Remember, we have renters on the service. Don't give up here. Let's try that again.
Well, actually, we're renting.
Okay, well, hey, can I get your landlord's phone number?
Well,
That was close, but it's still wrong. In most cases, this will send you on a wild goose chase. Present the service to the prospect that you have in front of you.
actually, we rent.
Sure, I can understand that, but let's say that it is your lawn for a minute. What would you like to see most improved out here? Would it be these thin spots or maybe the weeds?
Well, the thin spots.
Okay, well, that's why I stopped by. You see, it's kind of like leasing a car. You're still going to maintain it, take it to the car wash, get the oil changed, even though you don't own it, correct?
Right.
Okay, well, your lawn's the same way. In fact, I've got a lot of renters, just like you, who have me do their lawns. Why don't we do the same thing for you this season, okay?
This works with about 1 out of 10 renters. The other responses work with 0.
There's a lot more renters out there today than there ever has been before. 5-10 years ago, there wasn't as many renters. But today, in some of these nicer neighborhoods, you see a lot of people that are renting homes. And if you're leasing a vehicle, you don't own the vehicle, but you still get the brakes maintained, you still get the oil change. It's kind of the same thing with your lawn. They may be renting the house, but wouldn't you think they still want the lawn to look good? They want the weeds gone, they want the lawn to thicken up. So don't shy away from this.
You know, I love when people tell me that they rent, and you want to take them down a path that goes along the direction that you want to take them. The first thing I always ask is how long have you been in the home? And you know, for most people, whether it's 6 months or whether it's 6 years, it seems like a long time to them. So, you know, say they tell me it's been a year, I say, well, you know, it may not be your house, but it's definitely your home, and you definitely take pride in where you live. The next objection people give me is usually that they want to talk to the landlord about it. And I always tell them, the landlord's not going to take care of the lawn for you. The landlord's not living there. The landlord doesn't really care what it looks like unless it's empty and they're trying to rent it out. But you live there, you take pride in it, you definitely want the lawn to look good.
Just in the last couple of years, I'm running into a lot more renters. And these are in some of the nicer residential neighborhoods that we go to. They live in a nice place. I assume they want a nice lawn.
Do try to sell the service to the prospect in front of you. Explain that TruGreen services renters. Use comparisons to make your point, such as leasing a car. Don't give up on this objection right away. And don't try to get the landlord's information on the outset. While this may not be the most common objection, you will hear it from time to time.
Well, but the lawn's all weeds. I mean, if you kill that, I won't have any grass left.
Hey, you got a good point. Guess we'll see you later.
The laydown temptation is strong here if you accept the excuse given. Let's see that again.
Well, my lawn's all weeds. I mean, if you kill those, I won't have anything left.
Well, hey, I can fix it. Just give me a chance.
Dave is on the right track, but he still needs to make some adjustments. While he did explain that we can help them, he needs to let them know that we have dealt with this before. This will make the prospect feel confident in giving us a chance to help them.
Yeah, but my yard's all weeds. I mean, if you kill those, I won't have any lawn left.
Well, sure, I can appreciate that, but your lawn is repairable. I deal with lawns like yours all day long. These weeds right here are going to continue to spread into all of these thin areas. Give me a chance to thicken this grass in and get rid of these weeds so you can have a nice lawn, okay?
Inspire confidence. Make them believe that you're the expert and you can get the job done. Move them to action.
When somebody thinks that their lawn is all weeds, first thing I tell them is your lawn has great potential. And usually it's not all weeds. There is some grass in the lawn. It just needs to be taken care of. When they see the value of our service, they're more likely to understand that it's not going to take 10 years to improve their lawn. We can typically do it within one season. If that means seeding, if that means additional weed controls, whatever it takes, we've got something that will work for them.
When you hear this one, the good news is you're already there. Now just take a look down at the lawn and you'll see that there's grass within those weeds. The key is creating the right expectations and giving them peace of mind.
Make sure you create realistic expectations so the customer understands that we're not going to go out and wave a magic wand and make it happen overnight, that there is going to be a building process to it. They're guaranteed they're going to be a lot happier with the service.
Here are some additional keys for overcoming this objection. Act as if you hear this all the time. You do not want the homeowner to think that they have a lawn that cannot be helped. Ask the homeowner why the lawn is all weeds. Chances are that they have not been treating it. Let them know that we specialize with these types of lawns. Once you eliminate the weeds, you give the grass a chance to grow. Most importantly, you will need to let the homeowner know that the lawn is going to look worse before it looks better, and that they will need to do some type of seeding in the fall. Make sure you are giving realistic expectations and stress the amount of time it will take to get the lawn back in shape. You have to start somewhere. Do show confidence that we can help make a difference. Move them to action and give clear, realistic expectations. Don't overpromise the results. This is an objection that you need to be careful with. Sometimes this is a put-off, and other times it's a legitimate reason for the prospect not to buy. Your job as a sales rep is to figure which one it is.
You know, I'm not really sure about it just yet. I kind of want to talk it over with my husband, so maybe you could give me a call back?
Okay.
This is not the right way to handle this. Dave was happy that they didn't just say no. Even though he has a callback, the prospect seems interested, so this could be a lost opportunity.
You know, I'm not quite sure yet. I need a little bit of time to think about it, talk it over with my husband. So would it be okay if you called me back?
Yeah, I can do that, but is there anything that would keep you from having me out here?
The part where Dave says, "is there," can be a showstopper. They can easily say, "I just want to think about it," and the sales process is over.
Well, I'm not quite ready to make the decision right now. I need to talk it over with my husband first, but could you give me a call back?
Well, sure, I can do that. But if you don't mind me asking, is there any reason at all why your husband wouldn't want me to get out here and get rid of these weeds and get this grass to thicken in?
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point.
Well, he would see the value in that, right?
Right.
Okay, well, with that in mind, let's get you started, okay?
Okay.
The first thing I want to do is find out what questions I haven't answered for them. Obviously, they still have something that's holding them back from making a decision with you at that time. So the first thing I'll ask the potential customer is, are there any questions I haven't answered for you today? I may ask them, what is it that's keeping you from making a decision with me today? Because what you're trying to do at that point is to get out the actual objection, what it is they're thinking about, whether it's still price, whether it's whether they want to do it themselves. So once you get that objection back out, you can work with it.
If you can overcome whatever they throw out, you can have the sale now. If you never give it this last shot, you risk the lead getting cold and changing their mind completely. You won't lose them over asking if you stay polite. Don't let this one slip through your fingers. They do want the service. You just haven't hit the hot button hard enough yet. Keep on the weeds or whatever problem they admitted to. Do stress the urgency to start the service now. Don't give up and schedule a callback right away. And don't burn the bridge because you're pushing too hard. If they start asking questions, you're halfway there. You've managed to generate an interest. Keep in mind that this can come up at any point during the sales process. Once it does, you must be ready. Answer their question, features, benefits, close. Let's see how Dave responds to the buying sign, "How much is it?"
Well, how much is it?
It's $45 a treatment.
This is all wrong, and it can be common with newer reps. Never give a price tag and stop talking. You're leaving them with the one piece of information that threatens the sale, the cost. Let's try that again.
Well, how much is it?
It's $45 per visit. Let me do it for you, okay?
Dave is getting closer here, but he still has a little way to go. Why do you think a prospect asks what the price is in the first place? They want to know what they're going to get for the cost. Make sure you remind them of it. Let's look at the right way.
Well, how much is it?
It's only $45 per visit. And what that's gonna do is gonna get rid of these weeds right here. It's gonna get this grass to thicken in for you, okay? Let me go ahead and get you started.
That was right on target. Give them the price, remind them of what they'll get for their money, and then close. Another common buying sign is the question, "How often do you come out?"
How often do you guys come out?
Every 4 to 6 weeks.
While Dave's response was truthful, it is not going to help him make a sale.
How often do you guys come out?
We come out about every 4 to 6 weeks. Let me do it, okay?
Dave is getting closer here. He answered and closed, but did not remind the prospect about what they're going to get for their money.
How often do you guys come out?
We're gonna come out about every 4 to 6 weeks. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get control of these weeds. We're gonna help get this grass to thicken in so you've got a nice, green, healthy lawn. Give me a chance, we'll get you started next week, okay?
Frequency reminds them of cost. So once again, answer, features, benefits, and close. The final buying sign that we will cover is the question, how many applications are there?
How many applications are we talking about?
Between now and the end of the year, we're gonna do a total of 9 applications. What that's gonna consist of are treatments during the spring, summer, and fall to help control the weeds, get the crabgrass out of the yard, and make it greener and thicker, okay?
The number of applications reminds them of cost. So once again, answer, features, benefits, and close. At some point in the process, prior to the wrap-up, you need to explain the number of applications and the price per application. When you find that you're not getting anywhere with a prospect, you will have to use a fallback. This is your opportunity to reestablish the need, or create one if you've not done so yet.
You see these weeds?
With this response, they know immediately you do not have confidence. If there were a real problem with the weeds, you would have made it a bigger deal.
So if you could improve one thing, what would it be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good to us.
This gives them too much freedom. You'll end up dealing with nothing, or comments like, "I'd pave it over."
If you could improve one thing, would it be the weeds or maybe the thickness?
Well, I mean, it could be a lot thicker.
They can pick whichever option they like. You have something to work with either way. When they just won't cooperate, you will have to go to your fallback position. Here's an example.
I'm not saying the lawn looks bad by any stretch, but you got some weeds down here in these thin spots. These weeds are just gonna continue to fill in. Give me a chance and let us get this lawn in shape for you, okay?
Giving it one last attempt before settling for a callback means knowing when to step the program down. There will be a time when you have to reduce the program to make the sale. It's rare, but it happens. After the third or fourth objection, you should explain how important it is to do a little something for the lawn. Keep in mind that you aren't telling them what a little something is. A little something is one less application.
I can understand, Mrs. Jones, but these weeds right here, they're going to continue to fill in these thin spots. And if you don't do anything about it, they're just going to get worse through the entire season. Give me a chance, maybe just do the basic program, okay?
Well, what's that?
You're not telling them the number of applications. Hopefully this will get them to ask.
How many applications are we talking about?
Between now and the end of the year, we're going to do a total of 9 applications. What that's going to consist of are treatments during the spring, summer, and fall to help control the weeds, get the crabgrass out of the yard, and make it greener and thicker, okay?
The only application dropped in this scenario is the expanded. Asking for the sale is one of the most important parts of the sales process. You can be the most knowledgeable sales rep, you can be the best at overcoming objections, but if you don't ask for the sale early and often, you will not make enough sales. Oftentimes, when a rep hears an objection, they overcome the objection and keep on talking. This is a very common mistake by new sales reps. After you overcome the objection, ask for the sale. Don't make the mistake of talking yourself out of the sale. Deal with the objection and then ask for the business. Remember, when in doubt, ask for the business. There are many different ways to close the sale. An elite sales rep has a bag of closes. One of the things you will gain with experience is knowing when to use the different closes. Again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but closing often is a great way to make sales. Some of the different types of closes would be, let me do it, okay? I'll go ahead and get the work done, okay? I just want to make sure I'm doing the lawn this season, okay? You're going to be satisfied. I'll start next week, okay? Do you have a pen handy? I want you to take down my name, so if you have any questions during the season, you can call me, okay? Give me a chance this season and I won't let you down, okay? These give the illusion of asking for permission, but they really assume the prospect will say yes. Will they work with someone dead set against the idea of lawn care? No. Will they pull someone over to your side that's on the fence? Yes. Wrong or weak ways to ask for the sale? Would that be okay with you? What do you think? Will you give me a try? These all make it easy to tell you no. Don't ask, assume. The last step is the wrap-up. At this point, you have already made the sale, but you still have a few important things left to cover. We want to make sure you get to keep it. That means a solid wrap-up and filling out the service agreement. This recaps what you've sold and gives you a chance to add enhanced services and to set realistic expectations. Take the time to do it. It's vital to your success. Verify the customer's name, their address, get their home phone number and an alternate phone number. We need to try to get at least 2 numbers. Confirm the number of visits by saying you're committing to X number of visits. You also need to confirm the price for each visit.
All right, well, Dave, I think we're going to go ahead and do it.
Great. You made a great decision. Let me get some information from you and we'll get you started, okay?
Okay.
Now, your first and last name?
Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Jones.
All right. And the address here is?
11291 Woodridge Drive.
All right. And your zip code?
46032.
46032. Okay, what's the best phone number to reach at?
317 769 3110.
Okay, now do you have a daytime phone, work phone,
Actually,
or?
that's going to be the best one.
Is it? Okay. Okay. Now you're committing to 7 applications on the lawn at $50 per application. We're going to do your first one in the next 5 to 7 days. We're also going to do the grub control.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to write that in down here. one time for $85. And with your first spring application, we're also going to do the spring fertilizer for your trees and shrubs
Okay.
for $49.95. Okay?
Good.
Explain the frequency of the applications. We are typically out here every 4 to 6 weeks, with a couple of exceptions. Your first lawn treatment and tree feeding will be done in the same month to get your service started. This means there will be 2 charges in that first month, $50 for your lawn application and $49.95 for your tree and shrub feeding. Do you have any questions about that? You will also need to clarify the bundled services you have added to the program. After that, you'll see us every 4 to 6 weeks through the fall. In the summer, 2 of your treatments, your summer application and the grub treatment, will be done on the same day. You'll receive 2 charges, $50 for the regular lawn application and $85 for the grub application, totaling $135, okay? Explain our free service calls. We do have free service calls. You may have weeds between visits. They'll decline as visits increase. If you need us to come back, if there is a problem, let us know. Mention problem grasses like tall fescue that are uncontrollable. We can and will keep them green and will give you mowing suggestions to mask their appearance. To truly rid yourself of these problems, you will need to use Roundup and reseed, plug, or sod if necessary. What area do they really want us to concentrate on? This should be their hot button. If they had weeds and that's why they are going with the service, remind them that you're going to put the note on their account. Give your name and branch number. Tell them about the call from the customer relations specialist. Tell them to expect a confirmation email. Of course, you'll need their email address. Have them sign the service agreement. Keep in mind that all door-to-door sales and callbacks must have prospect signatures and the rep's signature. Thank them for the business and reassure them that they've made a great decision.
The applications are going to be about every 4 to 6 weeks. Your first application will be in the next 5 to 7 days. Remember the free service calls. If you ever have any concerns, just call. We'll have your lawn specialist out within 48 hours. I did notice some tall fescue in the corner of the backyard. That's a problem grass, and there's really nothing we can do about that. Okay? And I know the one thing you want to concentrate on most are...
Oh, the weeds.
Yep. Okay. Make a note. Good weed control. Okay? After this, someone from Quality Assurance is going to call you back. They'll verify the information that I went over with, okay?
Okay.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay. We'll look forward to working with you. Let me get you to sign right here. Okay, you're going to have my name and number. Please call me if you have any concerns. We look forward to doing a nice job for you this year on your lawn, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.